Welcome to the Rec Room Podcast. Y'all should know the drill by now. I'm gonna load this music up, and then we're gonna get the rest of the fellas in here. T Streets. Yeah, I can hear you.
Does it sound okay?
Oh, it's a little low. Probably just hit the volume up on your phone.
Bang, 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 bang.
Trey, what it do?
What up, Playboy? You already know.
I'm just loading this music up.
Yo, y'all can hear me?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay, then. What's up, EY?
What's good with you, man?
Cool, eh? T-Streets. A general. Emmanuel. What's going on, good man?
Hey,
How y'all day going so far, man?
Going good, my brother.
That's good.
Hey, Millie, relax.
Yes, sir.
First of all, relax.
Hey, I'm letting y'all know, man. I'm like
bro.
General, yo. I'm the younger version of him, man.
Hey,
That's
bro.
good, bro.
Hey, bro. Hey, relax. Get the show started. I'm sorry
Yes,
about
sir.
this, E. I'm sorry about this, E.
Hey, it's
I'm
gonna be an
sorry,
awesome
man.
show, y'all.
Hey,
For
hey,
sure.
We're gonna have fun, bro.
Absolutely.
We're gonna have fun. We're waiting on AG. We're waiting on
Okay.
AG. My
Waiting
man.
on AG.
Yeah, he in this brunch meeting. He in the brunch meeting.
He got the Don Perignon on ice. I got it.
He got something
Here we
going
go.
on here. Hey,
Yes,
hey,
sir.
Is T Street's mic up good?
Yeah, I think he called back in. At first, I
Okay.
couldn't hear him that good.
I see him in, but I want to make sure we can hear him.
Right.
AG.
Hello. How's everybody this evening?
Hey,
good?
Good, brother. What's going on, AG?
Being
Hey,
healthy
G.
and all that. How's
Yes,
everybody?
sir. All is well, man.
AG.
Hey, Trey, you had
good.
you had practice. I know I asked you every time because
Bruh.
Ezra be having.
Yo.
He had picture day, matter of fact. For
He had pitch today for baseball, right?
little T-ball joint.
Oh yeah, that's
oh.
what's up.
Yeah. So how many more games does he have? E?
They added another week or two, so I think
Wow.
he got 3, maybe 3 to 4.
Man,
Awesome. Good deal.
we got blasted, bro. Playoff, bro. We got blasted.
Oh, for
We
real.
up out of there. We up
So,
out of there.
so it's like one game. It's one game
blasted.
elimination.
Dog, it's single game elimination, bro.
It's the effort that count, General. Come on now.
It's the
Yeah, they
effort,
young,
but it's,
you know what
it's
I'm
also
saying?
it's
Yeah.
also the you know what else counts too? The damn points. Points count
True.
too. We
It
We
does.
ain't had them damn points.
We can't keep losing 20-0, man.
Come on, bro.
Absolutely, man.
Let me start this music, man.
Let's go, baby.
Yeah. So I want to welcome everybody to the Rec Room Podcast. This is our episode number 19. So we almost close to 20. And I've said this previously, according to some of the research we've done, most podcasts, only 1% of podcasts that start get to episode number 20. And so we almost there. So we're going to have to celebrate that, y'all, because that's going to be a dope
Absolutely.
accomplishment, like for real, for real.
Facts.
Absolutely.
Y'all are gonna surpass it.
Yeah, bro. So I'm happy about that. And tonight we we're gonna pick up where we kind of left off last week, and the title of this part is the Mandemic, which we did the last part, but tonight is gonna be part 2, and we're just gonna add a little bit more to what we talked about before. But the difference with tonight is, man, we got a special guest. So I'm gonna start off by introducing myself. I'm the host. I go by EOE1. We got AG. We got Trey.
Hey.
And we got T Streets, and we got a special guest tonight. I like to welcome. What's good, Millies?
I'm chilling, man. How y'all doing, man?
We got
Yeah,
the young protege.
Hey, man. I just
out here.
I come up under y'all, man. I gotta respect my elders, you know.
Hey, listen. Hey, listen. Hey, listen. Hey,
I
hey,
pay
hey.
respect where
Keep
respect is
talking
due.
like that. You keep talking like that. You're gonna be on here a lot, there, young fella.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
So we like to welcome
Absolutely.
you, man. We
Thank you,
appreciate, you know
man.
what I'm saying, having you. And
Yes, sir.
first thing that I'm gonna talk about is I predicted on a few shows, and I know I keep saying it, but I don't care because it was a great prediction. You know what I'm saying? I
Mm-hmm.
said that the Denver Nuggets was gonna win the championship, and guess what? They did.
They won it.
Okay.
Yeah,
They
They
won
man.
it.
won
You
the
called it.
championship. Now, another thing but the thing is, so they won the NBA championship. They beat Miami. I think it was 4-2.
Nah,
It
4-1.
was 4-1.
4-1.
Damn,
4-1.
4-1, right?
Mm-hmm.
So it was a big celebration after that. But unfortunately, during the celebration, it said that 10 people was
Crazy.
injured during the shooting amid the Nuggets
Oh,
NBA
wow.
title celebrations, police say. So I'm going to read a little bit of what happened. It
Mm-hmm.
say at least 10 people were injured in an overnight shooting in the area of Denver, where basketball fans have been celebrating the Nuggets' first NBA title, authorities said Tuesday, right?
Mm-hmm.
Ricardo Vasquez, who was taken into custody, also suffered a gunshot wound that wasn't thought to be life-threatening, said Denver police. Um, says officers said that someone had a firearm, start shooting, said they still working to understand the motive that ultimately led to the shooting, Clark said. So I don't think anybody passed away, but my whole thing is what I want to just talk about real quick is that it feels like you can't do anything. Like you can't
Bruh.
celebrate
Bruh.
anything that's involving a crowd. It feels like you can't
Yeah.
it just feels like you can't do nothing without being scared for something to happen to you. And I
Does it
think
make you
that's
want to
kind
be
of
armed everywhere, E? Does that make you want to be armed everywhere, or does it make you more apprehensive about going out in large crowds? Everybody. That's for everybody.
both. It's like,
It's both.
both. It's both, bro, because I would like to be armed everywhere, but I would
Mm-hmm.
also like to hang out and not feel like that I
Not
gotta
feel like.
watch out for something to happen. And these type of events is stuff that you don't have. I mean, of course you're supposed to stay safe everywhere, but you expecting to have fun and celebrate. You're not
Absolutely.
expecting to go there and then people get to shooting. This is they celebrating the championship of the Denver Nuggets. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So
Right.
for that to happen and then you got people shooting, I mean, that's just kind of crazy to me, man.
But we understand we got fools everywhere, right? So you always got to be secure about your space, the people around you, and just keep it safe, you know? That's just the
True.
main
Trying
important
to
thing.
keep it safe because look, they were at the damn graduation 2 weeks ago in Richmond at a Reek school
Yeah.
at Reek's at VCU.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, my man got killed in his
Yeah,
cap
yeah, I
and
saw
gown.
that.
My man had his cap
And
and
his
gown
father,
on,
right?
bro.
I
The
saw that.
dad died too, didn't
I
he?
ain't see that.
I don't
I
know
ain't
if
hear
it's
Mm-hmm.
about
two.
that.
I don't know if it's two people died. I mean, that probably could have happened like because it was multiple people shot.
Yeah, it was like 7 people that got shot, yo.
Yeah, yeah.
Mm,
At a high school graduation, but they had
right.
it at VCU. And so
Mm.
and they had three unarmed three plainclothes cops on the inside of the graduation, but not
Wow.
on the outside. But I would think you would want them on the outside because it's what I mean. It's public, it's the street, whatever. But
True.
yeah, man, dude rolled up, man, and just started shooting people.
Mm.
Crazy.
Wow.
Yeah, that's just like ridiculous.
Yeah,
Bruh,
that's
it's
ridiculous right
it's
there.
it's it's every it's everywhere.
But at this point, it's still normal because it's been going on for years, man. Like the VTech shooting, all these past history
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
situations that
This is
happen, man, it
America.
needs to
It's
stop.
America.
You
It's
know?
America, bro.
No, it's not.
Yeah.
It's nothing new. Now I got
It's
something else
America.
for y'all. Now
What
this
you
is
got?
like I don't know if y'all into conspiracy theories or what, right?
Sometimes,
And
sometimes.
so this happened, I guess, like June 13th or around that. It said 12,000 dead fish wash up on Texas beach.
Yeah.
And so it's
Hmm.
some beach in Texas. It says nearly 12,000 dead fish washed up on shore. And the fish, which included mullet, croaker, and catfish, were found along the stretch of the beach. It
Yeah,
says
that's
the cause
Quintana
of the
right there.
fish, right? So it's basically it's saying that the cause of it is it says it's not yet known, but officials are investigating some possible causes: a red tide
Hmm.
bloom or something, or maybe a chemical spill or a
Mm.
power outage that disrupted the
Yeah.
water supply.
But that
Now,
happens
Hmm.
all the time, though, E.
I
It
know,
happens all the time.
but you got your conspiracy theorists and people will say that stuff like that means it's the signs of the end of the times or whatever. So I
Yo,
agree.
look,
Demi
look.
Moore.
It
Demi
is what it
Moore.
is.
The
You know,
Seven
like
Signs came out in 1988. Same thing happened in the movie. Demi Moore. Demi Moore. The Seven Signs. I'm just saying, man. Look, I'm a movie dude, bro. The
I
same
know.
thing. Like 20,000 fish on the whales, all that.
Yeah, no, the orcas
Down,
are over there
sharks.
fighting people. You got like
Everything.
orcas and sharks attacking people left and right now. It's a beautiful thing to see. Just don't see it up close.
Right.
The orcas are over there plotting and planning. They're knocking over
Oh,
boats
yeah,
and
they're
telling each
knocking
other,
over
look,
boats. Yo,
this
I
is
saw
how you
that's
do it.
crazy, bro.
There's
Just
like
don't
3
want
or
to be
4
there in
different
person.
instances. Yeah, I'll see it from the video.
Right.
Bro, yo, you know how scary that shit is. You be on a boat, bro, and it's a
Man,
big ass whale just like
Starving.
you know what I'm saying? Starts attacking your boat like
And
out of
that's
nowhere.
why. And that's why I
Jaws.
fly. I don't go on boats.
That's why
I
you
don't-
fly?
I don't go on cruises.
Hey,
I'm
AG, I'm with you. I've
I
never been on a
stay-
cruise, bro.
I'm not a
stay,
cruise dude.
and I'm definitely not doing a cruise.
I'm not
especially
a
now.
cruise
As
dude,
close,
bro.
the closest cruises I'm gonna get is Trey's son when we go see him playing ball. That's as
That's
close as
it.
we get to a
That's the
cruise.
closest
man.
I know that's right.
That's the closest cruise. That's about
No
it.
further.
Bro,
No further than that.
bro. But
That's to the
Absolute.
extent.
But you got people who love cruises. Like they
Yeah,
don't.
they do.
They
Sure,
don't even,
sure. Don't
like,
get me wrong. I like cruises. I like like the Royal Caribbean, the
Yeah.
Condors. It's certain
Ro-
cruising
it's
boats
nice.
that are beautiful, man.
So tell me
I'm
this.
talking about
So,
track fields, roller coasters, you name it for the
That's
kids.
true.
It's beautiful, man. It's
so
beautiful.
Millie, so on them cruises, I never been on one. Is it like where when it's nighttime, you can go on the deck and it's one of them
Yeah.
things like, let's say like
Sure,
somebody,
sure.
okay, and if somebody wanted to just jump off because they,
Yeah.
they could do it.
And they ass gonna
Nah.
stay in that water.
I mean,
First of
you
all,
know
there
what
you
I'm
go. E1, you stand in that water if you jump off that boat, man.
Yeah,
You
bro.
if
Yeah,
it's no
bro.
consent, if it's no
Yeah.
consent, you on your own, man. Jaws is
Yeah.
coming through there, Moby is coming in.
Yeah,
You're gonna
bro.
be done. You're gonna be fooled at that point. So
You
you gotta
done.
make sure you stay on that boat, man. Stay on
But
that
the
boat.
guard,
Selection,
the guardrails are high up though.
Yeah.
Of
yeah,
course
yeah.
they are.
They're
Of
high.
course. Yeah, they
They're
high
high,
up.
bro.
Yeah. It's plenty of stuff they're doing there. You could gamble, you know what I mean? It's party time. They got stuff for the
It's all
kids.
kind
There's
of
so much
on
stuff,
the boat,
man.
bro.
You may want to change your mind. It's really good. Trust me.
It's fun, but
Okay.
I only want to do 3 days, bro. I can't do a week, 2 weeks. I can't do all that in the water, bro.
Some
They
people
got a
do
year
a
now,
month.
bro.
Well, you know,
Yeah.
some of them, but
They
some
got
of
a year
them
now.
dock. They dock, and then you
Yeah.
go to.
A
Matter of
whole
fact,
year, AG? That's
Yeah.
crazy.
No, they got it to where, look, check this out. And this is actually dope. For less than what you will pay for an apartment, a 1-bedroom apartment, they got a year-long cruise that goes everywhere in the world. The docks everywhere,
Wow.
food, drinks, and
Oh, that's
everything. I think you
crazy.
can even have
That's
guests.
crazy.
Google it. It's dope. It's actually a great
Whoa.
idea, especially with people who can work remote because you have internet
Facts.
connection and everything. I think it's like $2
Okay.
grand a month or something like that. Something
That's
real
not that
inexpensive.
bad, bro. If you
Whoa,
travel
that ain't that
everywhere.
bad.
It's
Right.
not. It's
That
not.
sounds
But,
therapeutic to me.
but for you to be on a cruise for a year, I don't know.
Ooh.
That's a little bit too
You're
good.
talking
I'm
about
good with
boat
that,
leg.
man. Like how you
Ooh.
gonna get like a, you know what I mean? Like what if you find love on the boat?
Mm.
hey, that could change it a little bit.
Hey,
You find
Yo.
love, but hold on, but what if you fall out of love and you fall in love with another girl on the other side of the boat?
That
Well,
sounds like
hey, I heard the
that's-
boats are big, so maybe
And
you
you
can do
stuck
that.
on the
and that.
boat.
That's a lot of entanglement
that's
going
a
on
lot
now.
of
Slow it down.
entanglement. Yeah,
I'm
that's
stuck.
a lot.
Slow it down.
Yeah.
Stuck, bro.
I mean, but they said, but singles do go on there, and people do meet and all that type. Well, that's what I
Man,
heard.
they
I ain't
got
been.
Of course.
Now, see now,
Yeah.
see, you know a lot.
Man,
Hey,
No, I just heard a lot. You know what
I'm only
Oh,
I just
speculating.
heard a lot.
my
I'm only
homegirl,
speculating.
my homegirl hit me to this, right? They got a cruise, right? Where you on there naked. Everybody in there is dressless. And you out
Yeah.
there mingling and having fun. It's a naked
Yeah,
cruise.
that's what T is now. That's why T not on
That's why he not tapped in right there? Oh, okay, I got you.
Oh,
He said, give me a minute. I'm getting my belly rub real quick.
Hey, that's a
Yeah,
legend.
naked joint.
Hey, Trey used
That's
to
a
always
legend.
talk about this beach out in a new beach out in Oxon Hill somewhere.
It
I
is
don't
a
know
new
where.
beach in Oxon Hill, but we don't know nobody where it's at.
He used to always say about that,
I
man.
ain't
You know,
never-
yeah.
hey, look, if it
That's
is,
it.
I ain't never heard of it.
Hey, hey,
You know, come on
You know what I'm
now.
saying?
You know
Hey,
PG
like
County
that.
E from PG
Hey,
County. He knows all of
nah,
PG
nah.
County.
PG.
It's
That
cer-
PG
it's
County
certain
comes
things-
out.
There's certain little spots we can't talk about.
We
on
can't
here.
discuss, you know. It's undisclosed confidential information.
Hey, I tell
Don't
you
say
what.
too much. No indictments.
What you got, E?
No, I was gonna say if it's a cruise shipping Oxon Hill, the water super dirty. I can tell you that. But
You worried about the water, E?
I mean, I'm just saying
E,
that's
you
what
worried
I
about
thought
the
about.
water?
I ain't
That's
worried
what you
about
worried
it.
about?
I'm just trying to,
The water
I'm
being dirty?
trying to picture
Not
it.
the water, bro.
That's what you
Bro.
worried about?
Hey, bro. Hey,
But you
we
know,
can't tell him everything.
nah, you right.
Yeah.
So Trump is in the he's in the news again.
Oh
Which
man.
is,
When he's not in the news.
so it says this is according to CNN Politics. Trump pleads not guilty in historical federal indictment. Former President Donald Trump pleaded not guilty to 37 criminal charges during a historic arraignment in the Miami federal courthouse after being indicted over his handling of classified documents at his Florida resort, some resort in Florida. So feels like that's nothing new. It seems like that until they can. I think that they're just trying to make it so he can't run for office. To be honest,
Yep.
Of course, you know that.
That's absolutely it.
I don't think he's going to get.
Absolute.
He burned a lot of bridges in
But
office.
for you to have that information, that's crazy. Where did you
But-
get this information from, yo?
But
You
it
got
doesn't-
insights. It just shows you how corrupt politicians be, man. I'm telling you.
Yeah, but it doesn't make what he did less true.
Facts.
See what I'm saying? That's the crazy part about it. So yeah, I know you did that. I know you might not even get convicted, right? But I gotta throw the kitchen sink everything at you during the election cycle,
Mhm.
just so my guy, who's also corrupt, can win.
Do y'all think
Right.
he gonna run? I mean, like, do y'all think that regardless of all this, do you think Trump is gonna be the person running for the
This is-
presidency?
Absolutely.
This is why. This is why
He's gonna try anyway, E1. He's gonna do it
Yes.
anyway. This is what he's known for. He likes the publicity, he likes the entertainment, he likes it
likes
all.
that.
You know, he's
So-
gonna do it.
True.
The main thing with Trump is even though he know he's not gonna win, he gets money from these donors and he keeps
Money.
that shit.
Hmm.
He keeps that. All that Trump Foundation, all the Clinton Foundation, they keep all of that shit. They keep
Yeah,
it.
man. That's why the
So-
Clintons are not allowed in the AT.
Thank you. So it's like it's a money scheme. It's all a hustle.
Definitely.
It's all a hustle.
He gonna win AG if he run?
AG gonna vote for him.
I'm not voting for him.
We not voting for that guy.
Nah, that's all we did.
Oh no!
That's
Oh
all
no!
we
So
did when
look,
they
no,
stormed-
no, no. So look, so I'm gonna
throwing
give y'all a
paper
quick
towels at my
scenario.
people. I'm
Hell
definitely
nah,
never
hell
vote for
nah.
that man
See what I'm
after
saying?
that.
Right.
Can't vote
Okay.
for that Clinton.
AG,
Can't vote
I'm
for
gonna
him.
ask you something real quick. I'm gonna
Yeah.
ask you something real quick because this is what I be seeing, right? So let's say that you got somebody that you grew up with,
Mhm.
and he gets maybe let's just say when y'all maybe like 15, let's say around 18, he
Mhm.
gets locked up, and he's in jail, and he gets life, and it's supposed to be life without parole.
Okay.
Mhm.
And so there's no chance of him getting out. But then Trump,
pardons him.
does. Yes, he does.
Yeah.
Now I'm asking you, in that scenario, does that change how you feel? Now, just think about it for a little bit. This
But I
is
got
your-
an answer for that. Though,
All right, go ahead.
E.
Let me-
The thing is that you know that pardons are for sale.
There you go.
It was a
Facts.
business move, so that's why those people that got pardons, it wasn't out of the goodness of his heart.
Mm-hmm.
They all
Kodak
put
Blacks, all of them.
Yep, they all put up money. They all put up bread. It could be 100,000, 500,000. The record company could have done it, but it wasn't out of the goodness of his heart.
But it's
Then
a
he gonna
bottom
hold over
line
your
thing,
head,
though.
too.
But let's just say this though. You're
He-
right. It's still a bottom line. You're this still a life, and it's still one of your best friends who would have never maybe gotten out of jail if it wasn't for him doing that. So does
Yeah,
that?
but he didn't do it out of the goodness of his heart. That was a transaction. When
It's
bill
a
of goods
move.
is
It's a
exchanged,
move.
Pardon
It's
supposed to be
strategy.
free.
once that
Pardon
once
supposed to be
that
granted by
Yup.
a person that was acceptable to have a pardon. You
That's
know,
true, but the bottom line is that your friend, he has his life back, right?
true.
Yeah, but it wasn't
we
because
think
of
about
him. It was
that
because of
part.
the transaction. It was a business transaction that began and ended when that money was exchanged.
True, but what if Trump wasn't in office, and then that never happened, and then your friend had to spend his life in jail? So you're saying regardless, even if Trump did that,
got caught.
even though he did it for whatever reasons, but it got your friend out, you're still saying there's no love for that.
No, because it was a business transaction. I don't love Apple when I spend
Right.
my money with them. I
But
don't.
we
you
talk
use it,
about
you know
your
what I mean?
friend's life.
You use
though.
Apple
Yeah, I use Apple and
because
I'm
of the
pretty
benefits
sure,
it gives you.
Yep.
Right.
You know what I mean? It begins and ends during that transaction. Like again, he didn't do it because of the fact that it was out of the goodness of his heart. He didn't free Mumia. You dig what I'm
Sure.
saying? Like there
Sure.
was a lot of,
He
you know,
did it
he
from a strategic move. Somebody
right.
told him
But what if
how
we
it would
looking at it
benefit
from the
him.
but let's look at it from the standpoint of the person is out, your best friend is out. So not the
Right.
reason or why it would happen. He's home and now he can have his life again.
Yeah, but
But
let me
look at it
tell you,
like
you
this: you
look,
want you down 100 grand though, so
yeah,
he's
that's
free,
a
but you still
transaction.
lost. So it was a win lose cause. You see what I mean?
It's a listen, it's a transaction because of my guy, you know, because I actually do have somebody in Rico right now in Puerto Rico that's under the jail
Mm.
for Rico. And you know, if he could put up some bread to get out, he would do it. It's not like I'm gonna be in somebody's pocket. It's not like they did me a favor if they that bill of goods was exchanged. The money was you do this for me, I give you the money. It begins and ends at that point. It's not
Hmm.
a favor. You
I
know what I
got
mean?
you.
Like
I got you.
it,
I
it
just
is
thought
what it
about
is.
that. You know what made me think about that because
What would you
Teddy
do, E?
Riley. What would I do? I'm a for to me, right? I'm my stand, my mental. I'm just gonna me. I'm gonna focus on that. There's a person who was in jail and is one of my best friends, and he gets to, regardless of the reason that he got out. Maybe if that president wasn't in office, my friend would have to spend the rest of his life in jail, and no matter the reason that it happened, the bottom line is he's home now.
Yeah.
So would that make me personally love Trump or anything like that? No. But I am going to look at it like, I mean, it happened. So it's not, you know what I mean? So I get,
Yeah.
it's like,
Yeah.
it's a tough situation because
Yeah.
I
So
get
But
what
you
you
Ace
can
is
still
saying.
still
you
thank
Trust.
him.
are you
You
still
can
showing him
still
respect?
yeah. Listen,
Um,
listen. You can still thank him, but you don't gotta mess with him. You know what I mean?
nah. And so that's what happened with Teddy Riley had, I forgot the guy who got out. It was a popular,
Hmm.
a guy that's known. I can't think of the name right now, but anyway, Teddy Riley had posted kind of like a thank you to Trump,
Wow.
or I don't know if it was personally to Trump.
That's too much
I
right
don't know
there.
the
Yeah.
details, but he was basically saying how appreciative he was about
Mm.
it, and so he got a lot of backlash because people felt like how AG felt about it basically.
Yeah,
So
but
it's just
he's a
I just
dumbass.
wondered about
But
that.
he's a dumbass for tweeting. Why would you
Nah, it makes
tweet?
sense.
You know what I mean? Like, come on,
Hmm.
Teddy Riley. And
Yeah.
listen, I love me some Teddy Riley, but come on, man. Then listen, that's all for attention.
He wanted
Thank
some
you,
more
Mr.
fans on his
Trump.
catalog,
He could,
Philando. That's all he wanted.
but bro, he could call him or he could get somebody to call him. He know
Yeah,
what's gonna happen when he put the name out. He knows what happened. Teddy Riley
facts.
wanted to. He
Hmm.
mad because he messed up on the verses with Babyface
That was
with
ugly.
the mic check.
That was
So he
he,
ugly.
wanted to
he
get.
ain't have
I
enough
love
Ben
me
Gay
some.
on.
Hey,
That was
Y'all
ugly.
go ahead,
tripping.
go ahead, go
No,
ahead.
so
He was rusty.
with that, we gonna get into tonight's topic, right? And last part was the Mandemic, and this time we're doing the Mandemic part two, and we got Millie's on here to give his perspective on some of the stuff we're gonna talk about. So
Sure.
it's gonna be real dope. And
Hmm.
what we're gonna focus on tonight is the first thing is gonna be we're gonna talk about the modern men versus the past men, and are we weaker?
Mm.
I'm gonna
Mm.
give my opinion
Mm.
last, and whoever want to take the floor, take the
Here
floor.
That's
Hey,
deep.
we go.
Hold on 1 second. Since
Shout out
since
everybody
we
on the shout out
shout out
everybody,
everybody
man.
with the chat, but
Yeah, shout out to everybody, man.
Thanks for
hold
joining
on,
us.
wait,
We live.
Yeah, thanks for tuning in, y'all.
Let
For
me
real.
listen. I'm Anita Baker's personal lawyer. Okay, that's what I'm gonna
Oh,
call.
you know what? Hey Trey, I forgot all about the
Personal
joint.
lawyer.
Hey, E, don't worry, I got you. E, I got you, bro. I
Hey, man, it's
got you, big
organic.
boy. So check it out, right? So check it out. First of all, everybody love Babyface. You understand?
Hmm.
We love Babyface. We respect him. Millie was born in the year 2010. He don't hear nothing about the
What?
80s.
Nothing
About
about the
The
80s.
math,
so
Go
check
the
it
ahead.
out.
math don't
So
add
check it
up.
out. Listen, we love us some Babyface. You understand what I'm
Hmm.
saying? One of the most brilliant songwriters of our time.
Yep.
No doubt. But it's one Anita Baker. You understand?
You tripping?
No, whoa.
Go ahead, I'm gonna let you finish.
I love Babyface, bro. But let me tell you, it's not even his fault.
It
But
wasn't.
right, you absolutely correct.
You
But at
blame
the
the
same,
fans. Come on now.
yeah. So
You
check
don't
it
put it
out.
on him.
Yo, he has to calm his people down though, bro,
Mm.
because this
Mm,
is an older woman.
Okay.
Yo, Anita
nah.
Baker's story. Anita Baker was abandoned. You feel
Who
what I'm saying?
cares?
No,
Who cares? Who
Anita,
cares?
Oh,
Anita
now we
Baker.
really in the rec
Anita,
room.
who cares if Anita Baker was a bandit? That's a clip right there. That's a clip, E. So check it out. Bro, she started singing in like little night spots at 14, 15. She grinded all the way up, bro. Had #1 hit albums. She has the album called Rapture. It is one of the greatest R&B albums of all time. That woman deserves respect. No little punk ass dude sitting on this couch talking about he wants to see Babyface sing the cool in you.
Oh.
Gonna be threatening to kill her.
Oh.
Gonna be
Nah.
threatening to kill Nita Baker. No,
So
no, no, no,
look,
no.
no.
She deserves respect.
No,
not
so
death
Trey,
threats.
so look,
I love
so,
Babyface though.
so
I love
look,
him though. Go ahead, E.
so I'm explaining what happened. So
Go ahead, bro.
Anita Baker and Babyface were on tour. It's Anita Baker's tour, and she had Babyface as a guest.
Right.
On one of the shows, one of the stops, Babyface couldn't perform. I believe that he thought it was Anita Baker's fault. So what he did was he sent out a tweet, and he was just saying, like, I apologize to my fans, but basically I couldn't perform tonight because of Miss Baker. And so when he did that, Anita Baker got a lot of backlash, and she came back and was basically saying that it wasn't her fault, it was the venue's fault, and that they were kind of over it or whatever. So during that tour, it just happens to be that I went to one of the shows.
Right. Yeah, you
And
went to the
I
show.
got there late, and Babyface had performed. He got like, when I got there, he was basically halfway done. But when Anita Baker came out, he was in the crowd, and she was like, "Hey, Kenny," and it was like it was an all love thing. At least how
She was
it
showing him
seemed
love,
then,
right? She showed him love. Okay.
So then fast forward, Anita Baker is saying that because of that time, she's getting cyber bullied. So the first thing is, so she's saying on social media, she's getting threats and stuff like that. So my thing is, Anita Baker is kind of older, and is she really on Instagram scrolling? Is she really on Twitter looking, or somebody telling her this, right?
She's on a BlackBerry using
Or
Facebook.
gotta be.
somebody telling her this,
She
right?
is
gotta
So
be.
I don't
BlackBerry
think I
using
doubt.
Facebook.
You got your older folks now out here on Instagram, social media, everywhere, man. Everybody's
So-
using it.
Now, as busy as she is, she on tour, but so maybe she is right. So she's saying, so she basically feels like that. So she put Babyface off the tour, and she said that she's getting cyber bullied. And what she wanted Babyface to do is to tell his fans to stop, I guess, tweeting her or adding her. And
Probably on
because he didn't
MySpace.
do that in a timely fashion,
Yeah.
because he didn't do that in a timely fashion, she put him off the tour.
But this is the
That's
thing:
his
you kick them off the tour.
Exactly.
It doesn't stop cyberbullying. They're going to keep talking what they want to talk
Yeah.
about, right?
But check
So
it
does
out.
it prove a point? She could have kept
Yo.
him on tour.
She just
beat up
wanted
all
him
those
off the
words
tour,
and
bro.
perform.
Come on,
That's
man.
all she could have
Hey,
did.
look,
man.
It would have
Hey,
been
look.
awesome.
Hey,
Yeah.
hold on, man.
Yeah.
You bought your tickets based on the fact that you going to see Anita Baker, correct?
For sure.
Okay. Was it a great show?
It was great. She was getting on the
Okay.
dude with the sound, but yes, it was a great show.
Okay. 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 You hear that
She
silence? You hear that silence?
It was a great show. It was.
Yo,
but
man, I love them both, bro. But we don't hear this shit with no other, you know what I mean?
nah, you
genres of
don't.
music.
You don't. There
You know what I'm
don't.
saying?
And
I
that's
wouldn't-
the
I
same.
love Babyface,
Yeah.
dog.
Oh, go ahead, AG. What you about to say?
Go ahead,
I mean,
AG.
this always has happened, man. There's always, especially nowadays where everybody's head is big, it's business. If it was good, that wouldn't happen. You have to have management to step in. You have to have the proper handlers. That's just too much pettiness. You're messing up the money. You're messing up the bag.
Messing up a lot of money.
Yeah,
Lot of money.
and you're also, you're disappointing the fans because let's face it, that's not
Absolutely.
our responsibility. Just because somebody is on her MySpace page making threats, you know what I mean? She's on her BlackBerry phone scrolling, and
See,
on her MySpace.
see how you gotta
page-
take shots at her though. You
Yeah,
feel what I'm saying?
No. It's not shots. It's reality, though. Like you can just turn it off. Turn off your
bro.
notifications.
This lady
Go
is an
perform and get the
icon,
bag.
dog.
That's it, bro.
It's her
Yeah, just be
show. It's her
professionals,
show.
man.
It is, but she come from an era where it wasn't no social media, so she should
Right.
stick by that rule.
Y'all act like y'all
She ain't
acting like
scrolling. Her kids
Babyface.
told her this, bro. Her kids told her
Okay.
this, bro.
You mean her grandkids told her?
And
this?
she-
Yeah,
and
right.
she a
Right, how about
Baker.
that?
Come on,
She a
man.
nigga Baker though. She a nigga
Right.
Baker. You know
Hey
what I
man,
mean?
look,
I get it.
if New Edition,
Okay.
with Bobby Brown can do it, anything is possible.
True. Bruh,
Yeah.
I wanted to go see Bobby Brown, though. He was hand dancing the whole show. He don't move his legs.
Yeah,
He
yeah.
don't move his
I seen the
legs.
clips.
What,
Bruh,
a
he
lot
don't
of
move
neck
it.
movements for that?
Hey, bruh.
Cocaine's a hell of
Hey,
a
bruh.
drug.
But he
Neck
fly,
jerking.
though. But he
He
fly.
definitely
So
fly.
Yeah, man.
that's it.
Yeah.
Go ahead,
Yeah.
E. Do your thing. E.
He
My
get a
bad,
Nah,
pass.
my bad, bruh.
so before Trey really interrupted me, I was, you know what I'm saying, I was great talking about tonight's topic. No, I'm messing with you, bro. I meant to I
It's
forgot
all
all about
good,
that, John.
Playboy.
Just tag
But
Go
yeah,
ahead,
dancing
so
bro.
on it.
tonight we getting into part 2 of
Mm-hmm.
last week's part, the Mandemic part 2, right? And we
Mm-hmm.
went over some things last week about men and our place in the world at this point, or how we viewed and
I
stuff
heard.
like that.
Mm-hmm.
And so, what we're going to talk about tonight, or the first thing we're going to talk about, is modern men versus past men, right?
Mm.
And it's, are we weaker? And I'm gonna let somebody chime in and
Whew.
tell me what y'all think. You know what I mean?
AG, go ahead, AG.
See, I like how you just put me up front. Um, I would say this absolutely, but
Mm.
I would say a majority are scared to be strong. I don't think it's because they are weak. Um, put it like this: last week's episode, I don't think we said anything disrespectful. I think we were very respectful.
Absolutely
We
not.
were very
Absolutely
open
not.
minded, but more importantly, we want to have dialogue and to be understood and not be told what we should think, but how we think, and let's start a dialogue, right?
Mm-hmm.
Even then, we were still too respectful to a degree, right? I think we went above and beyond to make sure that no one would be offended. And that can be shown as kind of a weakness where
Mm-hmm.
we may not be completely honest. And I think that, strength comes from honesty, confidence and honesty on who you are and what you are and how you present yourself to the world. And when you have to second guess that because of what you think others may think of you, I think that is a bit of a weakness. And at times we have to do that. We have to be a little bit more, more restraintful because of how we too much strength is a bad thing now, unfortunately. And I don't know
Okay.
how it is. And Millie, please step in, bro. But
Yeah, sure.
what's it
I
like?
agree.
Because
Yeah,
I
so
want to
I'm
hear.
I,
I want to hear kind of like what you experience at your, within your world and what's going
yeah,
on in
yeah,
your
cause
world.
I'm young, man. Like I'm 28, so I'm still up and coming,
Yep.
and it's just like I had a good background. Like my dad was in my life for 17 years before he passed away, but that
God
17
bless.
years that I had him, it put a lot of instillment into my body, into my soul to be a man that I am today.
Mm-hmm.
So it also comes with like learning and listening, right? And a lot of us don't take heed to what people say because we think we know it all, we got the answers, but that's not always the case because you got people coming before you and behind you that have experience, and you got to know that because somebody been through things that you're about to go through, and
Yep.
you got to catch that message, and a
Yep.
lot of us don't, and we out here living reckless, and that's what makes us weak.
Yep.
That's what makes us fall back on hard times, confusion, and so on and so on.
Yeah.
So
You
let's
know what I
say
mean?
this, right? So I'm gonna say, so when I think about that question, are modern, are we weaker now as men than we were back then? So I'll start it with saying, let's take it to physically.
Mm-hmm.
So if we think about when our parents
Mm-hmm.
grew up, or when our parents grew up, there weren't a lot of office jobs for them.
Right.
There you go.
Right.
And
Right.
so
There
a
you go.
lot of the jobs were physical in the aspect of you doing something physical with your work, construction,
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
that type of jobs, right? So
Manual
to
labor.
Mm-hmm.
me
Right.
back then, it seemed like it was a lot of men that just had brute physical strength because of the work that they had to do, right?
Ooh,
Mm-hmm.
man,
Mm-hmm.
have
Now,
your
of
ass.
course, they was always doing push-ups and lifting and stuff like that. But to me, it seemed like guys were a lot stronger
Yeah.
Yeah.
physically. It just
Yep.
seemed like that.
Yep.
I wasn't living back then, but just by what I've heard and just older people that I have talked to. Now, when we get to the mental part of it, are
Mm-hmm.
we weaker? So this is what I'll say. So another aspect that you can get into is that when our parents or parents was growing up, being emotional as a man just wasn't something that was accepted.
Right.
And
Mm-hmm.
so a lot of fathers didn't talk to their sons. It was more like do this, do that. It wasn't too much,
Right.
it wasn't being friends or anything like that. You were told what to do and you do it, and there's no crying and there's no anything, right? But
Mm-hmm.
nowadays it's more acceptable to talk to a therapist. It's more acceptable to say what's
Right.
on your mind and how you feel. So that can
Right.
be debated. Does that make you weaker? Does it make you
Mm.
stronger? It's kind of hard to tell. In one sense, to me, it makes you stronger because you're getting out your emotions so you can really deal with everything. But our grandfathers might say, y'all weak as shit.
True.
You know
Yeah.
what I
Mm-hmm.
mean? So it's like
Right.
one of them
Yeah.
in
Talk.
between
Yeah.
What you
things. You
mean
know what
talk?
I'm
What you mean go talk
saying?
to somebody?
Yeah.
Right.
Come on,
Right.
go
You know what
You
I'm
need to
saying?
punch
deal
you
with
in
it
the
on your
chest.
own. Your
Punch
own
you right in your
man.
chest.
Right.
Right.
You
Punch you
don't get it together.
directly in your chest, bro.
And I just feel like
What's up?
social media kind of like suppresses us when it comes down to like stand on your own too, because a lot of times, people just get caught up on what's going on in life and what's the new trend and not sit back
Mhm.
and dwell on what they need to work on as far as your inner man, your masculinity, your soul, and then operate from there because everybody wants to see you be great. And if you're not coming out being who you are, it's going to show and it trickles off on other people and it makes the whole situation bad. So you got to understand you are a true vessel to this world. You got to do good. You got to do good. You got to learn. You got to know because when you don't do good, you make everything else bad.
Nah, that's
Right.
true. Trey, what you think, bro? I ain't heard from you.
Hmm.
Yeah, man. So listen, man. Listen, I'm taking it all in, man. You guys made great points. Your point stood out. Um, Back in those days, like labor jobs, man. Like you working on a plant. You working on cars. You are using your hands. You working on the docks.
Hmm.
You are outside all day, no days
Facts.
off, right?
Mm-hmm.
Um, just a random point. Like I was in Baltimore, like when I was doing some real estate, right? And so I was like, man, what happened to this place? Right? I was just I was like, man, how did this place get like it
Yeah.
is now? So I
Yeah.
started doing a history of Baltimore. It's the
Mm.
same as Detroit. It's the same as
Yep.
Chicago. Back
Yep.
in the 40s, 50s, you had car manufacturers that were there. Even before that, you had guys that were working their ass off all day by hand,
Yep.
learning, knowing how to build things, knowing how to construct things, right?
Mm-hmm.
Nowadays, I don't know anybody. I know one guy, one of my coaches. His son was taking an automotive class way out here where I live, and I was like, they still have those,
Yeah,
right?
man.
Because it's
Wow.
because it's more so on the technical and not the manual now, right?
Yep.
Mm.
But how does that transfer over to other parts of your life where you don't know how to fix little small things in your household?
True.
Right? The first thing that my father-in-law told me, first of all, my first job, I was helping out my uncle who had he had his own carpet business. So all day long during the summer, I had to pick up these big ass carpet scraps, take them all the way downstairs by hand, up and down the stairs all day long.
Hard
So
labor.
at 12, 13, bro, hard labor.
Mm-hmm.
So now that I'm at the age now, where, but I'm lucky that I had the experience though.
But you see
But
how the imprint on your life, and you see from
yes,
there how that
yes.
foundation created who you are today.
Yes,
That's
and
what it
so
does. Mm-hmm.
right, and so as we keep going, we're going to see how things spill over. Where if it's nobody to talk to you about those hard times where you had to bust your ass, and you never you don't have anything to go off of other than what's being showed to you on the internet, which is killing most people,
Yep.
Every
right?
day. Mm-hmm.
television, television, and just not having that male role model, right?
Mm.
So I'm gonna just say yes, but also to add to that, physically, even all the way down to the physical bench press.
Hmm.
30 years ago, the average bench press was 240 pounds.
Hmm.
Today, the average bench press is 187 pounds,
That's wild.
Wow.
Oh
right?
wow.
Decline.
So even 30 years ago, the
Whoa.
average squat was 277 pounds. Today is 225 pounds,
Wow.
Mm.
right? So it's it starts in your mind,
Yep.
right?
Right.
So it's a society thing that just that just spills over, but it's also the information age instead of the manual labor age, which is also contributing to guys not really doing too much manual shit like that.
Yeah, but not
Mm-hmm.
only that, look at the fact that you saw this, right? The military had to lower their standards because
Yeah,
most people
motherfuckers
couldn't
fat.
meet it.
They
Not
fat.
only that, they couldn't meet it. They have to go through a pre-boot camp just to be boot camp ready, which boot camp is supposed to get you ready. How
Sure.
messed up are you that you can't even do like something out of high school?
Mm.
You know what I mean? So it kind of goes to show
And
you
for the
our
army,
obesity.
and for the army to
Right.
bend to
Yes.
you
That's
instead of
something
you
crazy.
bending to the army,
Right.
that's crazy.
That's
So
crazy.
then, so what y'all saying? So to me, y'all agreeing that that men are weaker today, basically.
I mean,
Hell
the
yeah.
numbers
Sure,
prove
sure.
it.
I
Numbers
agree.
prove it.
All day.
But
And
you
they
now more than ever, you have more access to be healthier. You have more access to
You
be
do.
stronger. The information is there. We're living in an information age.
Mhm.
If quien tiene hambre va a comer. If you're hungry,
Yeah.
you're gonna eat.
That's
Of
what I was about to
course.
say. I was about to
You
say
know what
just
I
like
mean?
that.
Of course.
Well, another
Facts.
thing
Yeah.
with social media, I think another thing that can make men seem weaker now is growing up or like in most relationships, women are the communicators, right? For the
Right.
most part. And one of their major gripes will say that their man doesn't communicate. But what social media does is show the femininity in men who talk too much. And
Okay.
Hmm.
so on social media, guys are giving their opinion. And there's nothing wrong with giving your opinion, but you really getting to see how they think. And a lot of men talk in weak ways. And so it's
Yeah.
like back then, guys would have certain thoughts on certain issues and stuff, but you wouldn't know that. But because of social media, they giving their opinion. And I'll see women always put comments like these dudes talk more than the girls do. You know what I mean? And it's like it's really putting them on display. And maybe that this was in personalities back then. But I think back in the day, you didn't even have room to be soft. The
No.
way
Not
life
at
was
all.
and how you
Not
were
at
Nah,
all.
working,
bro.
you didn't
Oh
even have
no.
space to be soft. And most
If they smell weeds, you
families
out of there.
from most families, Hispanic, black,
Yep.
you had the moms had like 9 and 10 kids. You know what I mean? And so so there was no room if you're raising 5 to 10, 11 kids. I mean, that's how the numbers were back then. Of them having kids, you don't really have room as a man to even be weak because you got to provide for your family. So seems like back then there was just a hardness on all the men back then because of the
Yeah.
circumstances.
Because of the circumstances, because of your environment. So
Mm-hmm.
we can look at we can look at the effects 30 to 40 years later, right? But when you're in it, you don't know if you ahead or you behind, right?
Mm-hmm.
So man, look, it's so many stats that we're going to get into, but you don't even know the impact of just being in a single parent home as a male with a female with a mom, right?
Mm-hmm.
But we're gonna get into that though. Go ahead,
Well,
Michael.
I'm
I
gonna
just want to
just
add that
give
point.
since we talking about now, this is an older article from the Washington Post,
Hmm.
and it's called the title is like the decline of masculinity.
Okay.
And so it said that they did a survey. Now, mind you, this was like 2016, but it still, applies to now. So it said they did a survey and they called it the decline of the manly man. And it said surveyors asked 1,000 American men where they fall on the spectrum of completely being masculine to being feminine, I guess, right? So it says that they didn't ask about sexual orientation. So it says less than a third of men in 18 to 29 group reported feeling completely masculine, compared to 65% of those approaching retirement age. Said 13% of those under 30 said they identified halfway between masculine and feminine. And then it says, and 12%
Whoa.
said they're slightly feminine. Now,
Oh,
like I
that's
say,
crazy.
they didn't
That's
ask
wild.
sexual
That's off
orientation.
the roof.
But I
Very.
don't know what they mean by feeling feminine because I don't feel feminine at all.
Well,
So I
you're
don't know
not
where they
part of
got
that
that from.
conversation.
But
They didn't ask me. Did they ask you? They didn't ask
yeah,
me.
they asked me.
They
I don't
asked
know
They
who
you.
asked
they
me.
asked. They
They
See,
skipped
that's
us,
what I'm saying. So
AG.
when
They skipped us,
so when
EY.
I hear about these little bro, listen,
What
90%,
was the
a
age group?
large percentage of these are
it's
are
a
made
it's a
up,
Millie's group.
bro.
It's a Millie's group feel a little feminine, man.
Oh,
They,
snizzle.
they said
Man,
they said 30. They said 30 and
30 and under.
below. 12% said they feel slightly feminine. Then, like I say, who know? I don't know who they asked, and they
They
said only
feel
1,000
slightly
people.
feminine.
We don't know the
Well, no,
orientation. So.
it could be solid because you got like a lot of the youth, man. They coming up like how we just spoke before. They got fatherless homes. It's a lot of like their moms in their ear telling
True.
them what to do. So you got that soft voice keep coming at you, right? It's not really no solidarity towards it. It's not really no concrete feeling. So when you go out to this world and you got somebody to think about, you think about your mom rather than your dad or your strong uncle or your strong cousins. So
Nah,
you
that's
can
real
move
talk.
proper as a man, you know what I mean, and move on that 10. So a lot of us are growing up without father or father figures. Like back in the day, I had my father and I also had my coaches when I used to go to Boys and Girls Clubs that would instill
Yeah,
into me
that's
wisdom
big.
Right.
Who you
and
play
Right.
manship.
for?
I
Yep.
used to go to Kingman Boys and Girls Club,
Oh,
bro.
okay.
Yeah,
I know.
No
uptown,
doubt.
up there, Logan Circle way.
Okay.
Yeah.
Peace to all
So
of them.
nah, facts.
Dope.
And it's like that's how we came up because it's like, you know how it used to be with the guys and the fellas. We did manly like stuff. You know what I'm saying? Now these youngers coming up now, it's a lot of women
Yep.
around them. They're not really trying to, go out and have fun
Yeah.
with them. They basically just kicking it and having conversations. But as men, we don't supposed to really gossip like that. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
We
True.
supposed to
True.
be
There's
able to
things
come
we
out here
don't
and
do.
do the works and come home and provide, and that's it. You know what I mean? It's too much conversation going on between man and women about just nothing. You know what I mean? It need to be a purpose. And when you're talking to her, hey, I want to start a family, I want to do this, that, and the third, and then move accordingly, right? We shouldn't be wasting our energy mixing that estrogen and to say, oh, well, I'm still a man, but you're not, because you got to be held accountable on what your actions is. We could talk all day. What are you doing?
What
You know,
Mhm.
without the overuse of emotion.
facts,
No, real
control,
talk.
balance is everything.
Now,
Balance
now,
is everything.
now Millies, I got one for you, right? So we're gonna
Sure.
switch. We're gonna
I
switch
think also, I
we
think a lot of,
staying on. Oh, go ahead, AG. My bad.
no, I
Do your
know. I
thing,
was
AG.
saying this that, you need to have an example of what a man is, right?
There you
Mm-hmm.
go.
Every time, even like I grew up in a father's household, right? But I'm
Mm-hmm.
an alpha male. We all know this. This has been
Okay,
established
okay.
on and
Yeah,
Say
on,
it
we
with
know
your
that,
chest.
you
AG.
know, on
Say it
and
with
off
your
the
Sure.
court.
chest.
Say it with your
But
Say it
chest,
with your
young
but
man.
chest.
I hear you.
I would say, that, I at least have people around me, or I can at least
Mm-hmm.
know the difference of, growing up with some structure, some ethics, some morals. You got to stand
Mm-hmm.
on something.
You do.
Although I
Facts.
didn't have a personal example within my growing up
Mm.
with, just myself and my mom, but I did have a grandfather. You know what I mean? I did have an uncle.
Facts. Big
I did have
facts.
people that looked out for me. You know what I
Mm-hmm.
mean? So there's never an excuse, because unless you're on an island somewhere by yourself and there's only two other people, you're gonna have those influences. So about what you gravitate towards.
Going in and
And
out a
right
little.
This
now,
how
I
you
think
turn to a
those
Yeah, I
robot,
know it
man,
was
examples
going
don't
John.
in and out.
Yeah,
exist.
he did.
I
He
heard
alpha,
you.
Like
This how
alpha
you turn
robot.
this
if
into a
you
computer,
exude,
boy.
He turned to an
hold on.
alpha
So
robot.
The power that's
hey,
invested in
hey,
AG
I'm
got
in the
us to the
matrix.
wreck
Hey,
room.
God
AG,
damn.
Wow.
Hey, hold
hey
on.
AG, hey
The
This is
AG,
saying this
magnitude
that.
that you carry,
He
brother.
might be an AI on
Hey, sorry
something.
hey
about that.
AG, AG,
what I no,
AG.
what I was saying was that it's just that we need to have an example. You know what I mean? We're
Okay,
gonna
Yeah.
find an
When I
example. We
was
will
coming up
always
as a
find an
kid, it
example.
used to be fly to mimic grown men. Like I want to be
True.
like him one day. You know what I mean? It
True.
yeah,
used to
you
be
want to
fly
be
to do
like
that.
that.
I used to leave and go to my homies and pretend like I was my dad. It used to be fly to have that mannerism. So it patterned into my
Yeah,
life and it
yeah,
made me to who I am.
yeah,
Just to see that, it was like admiring. Like that's my hero.
yeah. Hey AG. So what did you? So looking back,
Yeah.
right? What did you miss?
Um.
Like what did you miss? Because my situation is extremely similar to your
Yep.
situation,
Yep.
right? But what did you miss? Because yeah, we manly men, but what did we miss that would have made us stronger if we would have had that male figure in the
I
home?
think. I think leading
Mm.
by example. I think I would have made a lot of the mistakes I made.
Okay,
You
see that?
dig? And then
Okay.
also, some of the people that I had within my inner circle, they were involved in things that, you risk your freedom doing. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? So that's, I
Mm-hmm.
think that's where I got a lot of my sales acumen from,
Mhm.
was from that. That's why I'm great at math and I'm great at sales because of that.
Mm.
But, I would say that the direction was there, the base was there, the North Star was there. It was just in the wrong industry, if you want to kind of call it whatever.
Mm.
Mhm.
But, I also learned what not to do by watching these people move. You know what I mean? Because I saw the damage it would do. So I would say I would probably be 10 years ahead. I would be 10,
Okay.
15 years ahead if I had that.
You'll be
You know, I wouldn't
10.
have gotten into the same issues. Like I started a family when I was 19 years old.
Mm,
You know what I mean? Like there was a lot of things that I grew up quick. You know what I mean?
mm-hmm,
I grew up very quick. I had my own apartment at 16. I was moving,
mm-hmm,
but I would say, there's no perfect scenario, but I would have definitely
mm-hmm,
stayed out of trouble. I would have stayed in the straight and narrow because that's what having a man in the house does.
mm-hmm,
Teach you discipline. It tells you, no, youngster, you're not going to do that. Because as a man growing up, once I started hitting preteens, that's when it was kind of over. I was like, you can't tell me what to do. I can provide for myself. So having a man in the house, he would have corrected that and been like,
mm.
no, this is the way you have to move, and this is why, and I would have listened.
Yeah.
But you
How does
can't.
that
What?
affect you as a parent now?
So that's why I am who I am with my children. You know what I mean, and other people's children,
Mm-hmm.
because
Facts.
you don't stop being a role model or a point once outside of your household. A real man, you know what I mean? Well, hey, I see that little homie. I know what he's doing. Let me go ahead and talk to him. Let me give him an example.
You're a
Let
father
me
figure
let
to
let
all,
me
exactly.
Yep, let me show him something else, because the more of that he gets, the higher likelihood of him succeeding he has. And that's the most precious thing, time, right? Time is the only
Mm.
commodity you can never get back.
Sure.
Innocence, all of that needs to be protected. So when these kids are doing what they're doing, you can pull them to the side and say, listen, don't do that. Do this, and this is why. Let me show you why. Let me give you the examples. And we got people within our circle they can talk to that have been through it as well. You know what I mean? So if the
Absolutely.
more examples they have, I think the easier it is to kind of put them in a path. Because let me tell you, I think we come from a failed generation where we didn't have that, and now
Right.
we're seeing the fruits of that.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's just, it's sad to see.
Okay.
So Millie's, I wonder. This is we still talking about the mandemic, but we just shifting a little bit,
Okay.
and I want to talk about. I know you and Trey had this conversation, but it seemed like the younger generation doesn't date as much,
Mm.
and definitely don't get as married as much, and
Right.
as often as it seems like how it used to be previously.
Mm-hmm.
And
Sure.
what do you think that's true, or like?
I wanna say it's true because like coming to the gate, a lot of our youth just looking to have sex, right? Just get
Mm.
fornicate, get it over with, and keep it moving. But if they sit there and say, well, hey, if I can build with her, I can start a future and a legacy that can lead me a long way. But see, a lot of us so caught up into the now and the crimes and just different things that dating women is not on their mind. You know what I mean? Like I know a lot of youngins that sitting out here now on the corner and not thinking about Veronica or Ashley, right? They just think about getting some money, shooting at the ops and stuff like that. It's just crazy, bro. And it's like it's bigger to life than this. But when you get instilled early on something, it leaves a print on your brain that cannot be removed easily, right? And it just takes us as strong men to guide and just speak that wisdom because it's a good thing in that. Like, why would you want to? Why would you not want to date? I date women all day long, and I find different
All
personalities
day long.
and different information. Yes, of
Let me
course.
let me
Fernando,
ask,
you
to
talking to
kind of
me?
jump in right
Damn,
here.
Hey,
all right,
baby.
How do you find them now? Because one thing you have that we didn't have was
Swipe
social
right.
media.
Swipe right. You got
You
to
know
Sure,
what I
swipe
mean? Like
right.
how are you typically finding? Because this is what I'm really interested in. How do
got you.
people get to know each other? Because when we go out,
Hmm.
what we mostly see is everybody on their phones. We don't see people
Okay.
Facts.
talking to
Swipe
people
right.
right next to them. So that's why we
Swipe
shine when we
left.
talk.
Yo, you be in
So I'm
a
kind of
club,
curious.
yo, they be on the phone and everything. And I'm like, yo, why are
Put
you
your phone
here?
down.
You should be up, focused, aware,
Right,
eye
right.
contact, and talk your game, right? But it's like, yeah, so most of the time you got dating apps out here like Hinge, different apps that they have out here. I'm at work, so I'm very vocal. So I like to start a conversation. I could be at Chipotle, at a drive-through, you name it, and spark conversation. And it leads
That
one
nigga at
thing
the
to
gas
another.
dog.
And now I got an 8 o'clock reservations at
You
True Love.
dig?
You know
Yep.
what I
You
mean?
dig? At True
So
Love.
that's just how that go, because it come with confidence and you knowing yourself. Like, old time always tell me, it's either a yes or no. Just try. Just jump out there and do it.
Right.
You know what I mean? And see what happens. You know what I mean? See what happens. She can only say yes or no. You know what I mean?
And
And
you,
I'm lying heavy
yep.
on the yes.
Yeah,
I need the
exactly. And
yes.
at the same time, you're not losing anything because you didn't have it to begin with. If
Wow, I
anything, you
like
at
that.
least got on her radar. You know what I mean? And then,
Facts.
no can be yes with conditions later on. You know what I mean? If approached
Mm.
right.
And it's practical reasons, right? You got to just jump out there and do it, right?
Yep.
Learn yourself. You know what I mean? Understand that, hey, you're going to be in like uncomfortable environments, but overcome it because that's the man in you, right? To go through
Can I
adversity.
pause you
We
right
are
there?
strong-willed
I
people.
want to pause you right
Sure.
there.
I
You
think
said something. You got to get comfortable with being uncomfortable. I think going back to what E originally said about, are we weaker? I think we're so comfortable, or
all
there are
that shit
others that are
ties
so
in.
comfortable that don't want
Mm.
to be uncomfortable.
That's a good
And
point,
that's
AG.
why everything
Facts.
is what it is.
And that's
No,
the key
continue though.
component. That's the key
Yep.
component because it's like, me coming up, like I say before, and I always relate back to it. I had my dad, but I didn't have my dad in every situation. I had
Right,
to do it on my own. You know what I
right,
mean? When it was time where, you got to get into fights or you got to go holler at that girl, or you want to do these things, I had to think about it on my own accountability. You know what I mean?
right.
I couldn't just go ahead and just call dad and mom. That's not how we operate. We deal with
Yeah,
stuff on our own because that's how I'm
random,
designed.
random.
Random, like on a freestyle, that's how
Yeah,
we
yeah.
design.
You gotta
So,
freestyle it.
and it lets you know about yourself even more when you overcome it and you understand, well, hey, shoot, I'm a god being at this point. You know what I mean? I'm really heavily invested because at this point, you gotta understand that that's the hidden jewel.
So
The
let me ask you
individual.
this. So let me ask you this, Millie. So by you moving like that with the right intentions, right? Right,
Hmm.
based on the tools that you have to work with, right?
Right.
You out here, you under the right. So how would you know? And I'm asking you this because I'm about to go into the stat. How would
Sure.
you know if that woman, if that young lady is, well, first of all, it's based on what you are looking for as a man.
Facts.
Number one.
Hmm.
Number two, how do you know what type of young lady to look for? Do you already know, well, she's not long term. Oh, she could possibly be long term. How do you base your movements off of that? How do you know?
Like I go off like conversation. So if I say one or two things and she respond the way I want her to respond or the way it's supposed to go, then I know for sure she's the one or she's not the one. Because a lot of times when women talk, they let you know about themselves already. Just for far as men,
Okay.
it's vice versa. You know what I mean?
Yep.
So you can spark a conversation, or if we just talking about, let's say we're talking about money and trying to be prosperous and entrepreneurship. Okay, she's the one that's going to stick around. She wants to have
Okay.
longevity.
Okay.
She
I
wants to
got it.
have she wants to have some.
Goals.
She got
She had
goals.
she had she has goals. There you go.
Yes, she's going through the roof. She's thinking beyond the years. That's who I need in my life. Why? Because she's going to be loyal and she's going to create a foundation that's unbreakable for the family and each other. You know what I mean?
Okay.
Versus
Okay.
somebody else that's talking about, so what you got on this aisle? You smoke
They want
weed? That
smoke, all
they
that.
redundant, right? They're kind of
Be-
slow with it. They more ratchet. I don't want that. You know what I mean? You can
because
stay over there. It's
because
toxic.
it is, and it affects men, right?
Mm,
So new Pew Research Center data had found that nowadays 63% of men under 30 are electively single on purpose.
wow.
Up from 51% just 3 years ago. So it's jumped up 12%. And experts blame erotic alone time online as a major culprit. So you have men who are not even tripping off leaving the
Can you
house.
expand
Cause
on
they on
that?
that Pornhub.
They on a
They on that
Pornhub
Pornhub.
or they
That's
and
on
I
the
it.
and
game,
I
There it
was
is.
go-
That's
right?
and
I'm
and
wanting
I was
some.
going to jump on that. Go ahead, AG. I was going to jump
Bro,
right in and
it's
say that.
crazy, dog.
Yep.
No, I
Because at
want
the
to
end of the
hear
day,
because
and
that's I want to
yeah,
learn more about this. What is
that
this
and
that
that
you
Look,
go
just
back
speak,
and listen,
that
but
go
sir?
hold on,
back
but
to your
listen,
point.
listen,
E1, that go
listen,
back to your point when
listen,
they
Millie.
say they okay.
No, well, hold on, no, I'm gonna let you get off. Just listen, listen. It says young men are watching a lot of social media. They're watching a lot of porn, and I
Mm.
think they're getting a lot of their needs. Now, listen to this though. Listen to this, and I think they're getting a lot of their needs met without having to
Mm.
go out. So
Wow.
you don't even
There
like
it
you're not
is.
even leaving the house. So that leads to
Right.
the U.S. adults between 18 and 29. 50. It was 51% men in 2019. It's 63% now in 2023. That's big. Go ahead, bro. I,
That's
I just
big.
want to give y'all those
That's
stats.
wild.
Sure, and I received it, Fernando. And that go back to E1 point when he's saying how the 30 and under are feeling more feminist because they are
Mm.
confused about their identity. You know, once you're dealing with that porn and everything else, because it's a Jezebel spirit, you got to understand it's something that's possessed into that whole scene. So you got to understand that's not natural living. You know what I mean?
And it's
Your
gonna take
natural
the
being as a
aggression out
man
of
is
you.
to go, it
Yep,
is.
yep,
The natural being in yourself is to go out here and hunt for
yep.
your women, you know, and take care and create that hub. You know what I mean? But you can't do that standing in the house and say, well, I don't want to come out. And that creates anxiety and that
It
creates emotional
does. That's a
damage.
key word.
That creates a lot of disorder. So then you got to understand, well, if I
As
stop
a
doing
grown
these
up.
things, yes, you start being enlightened and more to say what I was doing was tarnishing my life. Now you come
Yeah,
out and be better than where you were yesterday. But see, a lot of us
absolutely.
caught up on that satisfaction, like you said. Oh well, my needs are being met. That's key because they thinking, oh well, since I'm doing this, I don't need one. I could just look at her
Right,
on camera.
right.
But that's
Or
not
you got
surreal.
rejected. Or you
Yeah,
got
well, you got
rejected.
Yeah, you
rejected.
got
Yeah,
rejected.
because you
You know what
wasn't
I mean?
confident. You know, you was
Not
talking like
everybody
her when
got to
you
die. Everybody
right.
got to die.
You talked to like her when you encountered her. You didn't have no deepness into your voice, no confidence. You
Right.
didn't convey your message well. She
Right.
thought you were one of her.
Yeah.
She thought
You
she
So
was one
know,
of her.
and that's
you
real
know,
talk.
it's this site called
Pornhub.
Bonobiology. I ain't never
Uh
heard of it.
oh. Uh
But
oh.
so it
I don't know.
says it has a thing where it says why are men more single these it says why guys 14 types of guys who stay single and why they do stay single.
Mm,
And so I'm not gonna read each explanation, but it
That's a
says
lot of
number one
explanations.
says why do good looking guys stay single? It says because they are cranky choosers. So I guess it's saying that some guys too picky. Number two says that the ones that try too hard often stay single.
mm.
So I guess they said if you keep going to somebody, I guess it gets to be too much. It says the resentful kind, the kind that is mad at the world.
Mm,
They don't really go at women like that, I guess. When they mad at the
mm.
world, they mad at everybody, so they don't
They
go at
mad at
nobody.
everybody,
You
bro. They
shouldn't
mad at
be.
everybody,
You
bro.
shouldn't
Then it
Right.
be.
says
It's
number
bigger
four
than life.
says some guys are meant to be single, like the man child.
Wow.
Man,
The
it
man
says
child.
it says
Oof.
among the types of guys who stay single, the man child is popular. His physical development is ordinary, might even be outstanding, with his hunky gym body and great beard.
Huggy Jim.
Wait.
But
You got a great beard. They're very
yeah,
descriptive, bro.
Who's
That's very
but his
describing these things,
mindset,
man?
right? But it says, but his mindset is a stifle. He doesn't care
Mm,
about taking on any social or personal obligations since he has no notion of responsibility and growth.
Mm.
He
Ah,
mm.
believes that the fewer adult responsibility he has is the better. So those type of guys don't date.
gotcha.
But that also was see, just like we talked about earlier.
You're
A
shunning
lot of
your potential, man. That's
a
crazy.
lot
True.
a lot of that bleeds over into your life period. So
True.
Mm.
that's just a symptom of what the problem is because also
Facts.
it says in the early 1990s 55% of men were reported to have 6 or more close friends. That percentage dwindled down to 27 in
Wow.
2021, right? So
Wow.
it went from 55% to 27% in 2021, according to the American Perspective Survey. Now, 15% of men say they have no close personal relationships. Period.
Wow.
Wow.
Like you don't even have friends.
You don't even have male friends.
You
Like
don't
that's
even
a
have
problem.
so it's like
Yeah.
you ain't
Like yo,
you
you don't
ain't
even
you
get out here
ain't
and talk to nobody. You
you're not
just
you're not even
mm.
you're not even trying. You get on Pornhub, you get on the goddamn video
Wow.
game and you go to work and then you go repeat.
So what if
Mm.
you're a
That's
Wow. That's
workaholic? So
crazy.
it says on
Mm.
here number seven. I'm skipping around, but it says the
you're
type
good.
of guys who stay single are the workaholics. So do you think that's cool? If you're a workaholic and you single, does
Nah.
that make more sense
Balance.
or regardless?
Nah, you have to
Okay.
have balance. And to that other point, it just sounds like people are
Mm.
drinking seawater trying to quench their thirst, man. It's like,
Mm.
like with that whole looking for that quick out, you're never going to
Yeah.
be truly fulfilled. So you're always going to want more and you'll get less, man. So I
Mm-hmm.
mean, with the workaholic, I think I was guilty of that. initially, just because I was grinding it out. I was in mortgages and we would work 6-7 days a week,
Absolutely.
working like
grinding.
12, 14-hour days. I was young too, so it wasn't anything. But, like when you're doing that outside of work, you're not really seeing anybody. So most of the romantic encounters happen at work. That's what you hear about the inner office
Because
relationships and
you
everything.
always at work.
Always
You're
at work.
Right.
12,
And there's nothing
14
wrong
hour
with it.
days.
But you
Right.
still got time, right? It's always an
Right.
opportunity.
See,
we
it's
always
not
gonna find a way.
Yeah,
You know we
the
are.
real ones.
Come on, yo.
The alphas.
The real ones. Trust me.
Hey,
We're gonna find a way.
Hey, we
Find a
just
way.
segued into we just talking about work. We can get into that. What's appropriate
I like how
at
you
work,
did that,
Yeah.
E.
right?
I like how you did that.
Yeah, I like how you did it too, Fernando. That was slick, E1. That was slick.
You know what I'm saying? So since we on the work thing, what is actually appropriate work etiquette for a man, and actually, I would say going at a woman basically. Like, we all work? Are you all on eggshells at work? It's different now when it comes to how men have to. I believe how men have to act at work with the Me Too thing, and when
Right.
it's just it's kind of crazy. So it's like you kind of scared to be flirtatious.
Wow. Yeah.
And
Or
so
just give a compliment.
right.
Right.
So are y'all on eggshells at work? Because that is where guys can meet the women.
Or just
I'll
work
let the
with
young
women.
guys talk about this. The non-married.
Yeah, so let me crack it. Let me crack it off because I'm not married at all.
Hold on, Millie. Hold on, Millie. Hey, AG. Now you know damn well me, you, and E is married on this damn podcast. So you really say we gotta let Millie. We gotta let Millie talk about it. Okay.
That's
Talk
what I'm
about
saying.
it.
That's exactly. I'm just teeing
Yeah.
off to our new friends. You gotta make sure
For
everybody.
sure, AG. I'm quick to go on the
Go
fire
ahead,
for my
bro.
brothers.
Yep.
It's no problem.
Go ahead, bro.
So first and foremost, me being a single man, it's fine to be conversational, right? You can always have conversation. She's still a human being at the end of the day, but you got to know your boundaries. So if she's married, you don't want to step too far in and too far back. So it's like, you always leave an opportunity there because certain women, if they like what they like, they can't help but to give in, right? So I'm not going to force it upon you, but I do experience a lot of my times being at work that women will come on to you. You know what I mean? Because it may be something going on at home you're not knowing about, or somebody made her mad this day or this week. Because if I'm at work every day, I'm seeing her most of the time. So I can see when her personality changes. I can see when she's feeling jolly. I can see when she's feeling sad, and we're talking in the midst of this. So at this point, we're building a relationship. So it's almost like we're married at work in a sense. You know what I mean? So then it's like she may catch feelings, she may jump out there, or I may jump out and say, well, let's hook up, let's have a drink or two, and it leads to something else. So all I'm saying is I don't walk on eggshells because I'm not married, but if I was married, I would, because you don't want to step into too many doors that you can't get out of.
True.
True. Because a woman to drag you there and she's ready. So you got to be willing to have that discipline, that willpower.
No, that's real. That's real spill, bro. I mean, so I'm a comment about the work thing. You know what I mean? Because I wasn't always single.
I say be careful.
I mean, I wasn't always.
Say nothing wrong,
married.
See now?
Now I'm gonna say this. I met my wife at work. You feel what I'm saying? So
I like how you did that.
So with that being said, I think that you just have to be careful. You have to have some sense of what's going on around you, and be able to really read people, because a lot of couples find each other at work and stuff like that. It's just you can't be overly aggressive, and you have to learn how to read the room. Some people don't know how to do that. I don't know how it was when I will say this. Things have heightened. So I think back in the day, you probably guys got away with more stuff than they get away with now. In comparison, because I think it's just we're in a different time where people are more communicative. But but in terms of anybody who is single out there, work is a great place to meet people. But I'm sure everybody already know that. Cause
I want to say though, E1, it's kind of worse. It's kind of
you
worse.
think so?
You got a lot of married people stepping out at work, man. I'm telling you. You want to be careful because a lot of people cover it up, make it look good, But in hitting sight, they're getting down and filthy. So I want to say it's getting worse, man. It's a lot of
So look,
chaoticness.
you do gotta know what to do, right? So I'm gonna give an example of matter of fact, somebody who I work with now. Of course, I don't name no names, right?
Uh-oh.
So,
True.
guy,
Uh-oh.
I
Talk
always
about
got
it.
my little stories,
Go on.
right?
Yes, sir. Talk about it.
So guys can be, funny, and so it's this guy, it's this lady I work with. She's married, she's happily married,
Mm-hmm.
and it's a guy that works there, and they chat back and forth, but she keeps it on the hey, how your kids, that type of thing is never
Mm-hmm.
it never goes anywhere past that, and she don't want to go nowhere past that. But for the simple fact that they're chatting, he thinks that means there's some room for him to go at
Absolutely.
her.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
she would come. So sometimes she'll come back from lunch, and he might have a note on her desk that's written like a third grader saying like
Do you like me?
Oh,
Yes.
wow.
no,
Right.
no, so no,
Yes or
hey,
no.
look, it came to that, but it would
Do
be
you
like,
feel
Check
me?
any box you like.
Right.
it would be like,
Really
I
nice.
just came past your desk or whatever. You wasn't here, just was coming to say what's up, right? So she's showing me
Oh,
the
that's
notes, and in my
terrible.
Oh,
mind,
she's showing you the notes.
yeah, she's showing me the notes. So I'm
Oh,
like, this
man.
That's
dude. So
crushing.
she
That's
did that a
crushing.
few times. So I went to her desk one day, and she had it was a refrigerator there.
He bought
What?
a
And so,
refrigerator.
no, a
Refrigerator?
real live refrigerator, right? So I said,
A
how
God
you get
portable
damn.
this?
refrigerator, eat
A
what?
portable joint, right? So I
Wow.
said, well, I'm like, how you get this? So he's one of the guys that works with the equipment there, so he's able to get his hands on stuff like that. So she
Here
told
we
me
Oh.
that
go.
he
Uh-oh.
gave it to her or
Convenience.
whatever. So I'm just like in my mind, like, well, you accepting that stuff, and his mind is making him feel like he
Yep.
got a
Yep.
chance, though he's married
Right.
and though she's married, whatever,
Yep.
like
So
that.
you're saying I
Mm-hmm.
have a
And so
chance.
Yep.
it did come to the point where so she doesn't like him at all, but she doesn't know how to. She doesn't know. So some women are
Tell
easy
them no.
to be straight up
Yeah,
and say,
but
"Hey,
hold
look,
on.
you
E, hold
going too
on. E, I
far."
wouldn't say she's that innocent if she knows what she's doing.
Facts.
Well,
She's
I don't. Well, let's put it like this. I don't think
Deceiving.
Yeah, like you never
but
know.
she's
Trust me.
saying that
Believe
she
what they do, not what they say.
true. But
Facts.
she's telling me that she's never been flirtatious. Period. She even showed the notes to her husband. You feel what I'm saying?
And he's still living.
So, so the
Another dude's
last,
still
She
living.
showed it to her
Yeah.
Whoa.
husband, bro.
Yeah,
And he's
that's
still sending her notes?
now she don't know. So
No.
the last one that he wrote was basically he got to the point where he had the courage to say, "Hey, I really like you," and all this other bullshit that's written on
Whoa.
a sticky note.
He
you know
went
that can
deep.
get him in
On a
trouble, right?
sticky note, right?
Facts.
So
That can
now
get him
he's
in a
putting
lot of
his
trouble.
right. So he's putting himself in a position. If she was a different type of person,
Hmm.
Harassment?
he would be
Yeah, at
gone.
the very
Probably,
least.
basically. You know what
Oh,
I'm
she
saying?
showed it
Wow.
to
And
her husband
And
now?
she
not
showed to her
Damn.
husband
hireable
as some
anywhere
laughing,
else.
like, look,
That is
like,
crazy.
Oh.
yeah, right. So I'm tying all this to the workplace. Guys dating on the workplace, and that
Hey,
story just came to my mind because of what's happening. And that's just another thing of being careful. Guys get too
yeah.
I don't know, man. It's just a little too much
And I
for
tell
They
people.
just they
everybody.
just think with the other man. They gotta stop
Yep.
doing that. Your brain is a
Yep.
powerful source. You gotta start
It's
with
Yep.
that first.
thousands. It's
Yeah.
thousands and thousands of stories just like that. And
Yep.
that's why you have certain organizations where it's in the policy. Even though it's in the
Mm-hmm.
policy, people still gonna do it, but still like
Yep.
it's in the policy because it could destroy us.
Hmm.
Mm-hmm.
You see
Very
what I'm
true.
saying? It's in the policy
Legitimately.
because the people who wrote the policy have done this shit. It don't
Yep.
work,
It don't
right?
work.
They got
We
caught
will
up.
lose. We will lose
Yep.
everything.
Yep.
And it will leave a bad taste in people's mouths towards you because
Hmm.
you're not being professional. At the end
Nope.
of the day, you gotta have
No.
strong willpower. Know how to cut it off and cut it on. You know,
That's
and you're
true.
married at the end of the day. You have a wife you go home to every night. You should be
Yeah,
Yep.
some
committed and
people
loyal to her.
Yep.
go hard with it,
Absolutely,
man.
Playboy. That's how you gotta do it. But jumping back to the eggshell joint.
Very
But
careful.
jumping,
Very careful.
Right.
jumping
Right.
back to the
Eggshells.
eggshell. But
Eggshells.
jumping back to the eggshell, right? So
Mhm.
listen, this happened. This happened last week, right? So one of my guys was like, "Yo, all I did was like I do every day. If somebody, what I'm saying, you know, whatever, dress well, whatever. Hey, yo, you look nice today.
Right, right.
You look nice,
Storytelling
right,
skills.
right. But the way he said it, he was like, "Yo," but honestly, I say that to a lot of people. I just gave a compliment. I wasn't thinking about anything, you know, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Malicious, right? But
Hmm.
so whoever heard the compliment went and said something to one of the
Oh man.
supervisors, he got
Mm.
an HR call. So the
Mm.
That's not a
person
call we
the
want.
person the person that he was talking to didn't say it. It was somebody who overheard it. So
Okay.
that's how crazy it
The
was.
audience caught him.
For you got a lot of people in a lot of different uh, uh, businesses and companies
Yep.
Hmm.
who deal with this thing,
Overlook you.
right?
Hmm.
Right?
Yep.
And so
Yep.
it's a
Yep.
yeah. So just conduct yourself
Hmm.
accordingly. If you do it, you have to know how to handle it if it don't go the way you think it's
It
gonna
never
go.
ends well, Trey.
You
I'm a
you like
listen. I
yeah.
had too
So
much experience in that. It never
right.
ends well. It just. I recommend everybody on here listening, and if you share this, the takeaway is short-term gains for long-term negativity. Man, it never ends well. You
Mm.
know what I mean? Unless you build a relationship and you become what like E has with his wife. 10 years in, that's dope. Salute. You know what I mean?
Man, salute,
But
E.
Appreciate it.
Wow.
now
I'm
I would
inspired,
say,
bro.
Appreciate
listen,
it.
there's too many people out here for you to talk to. Don't
It's too
fall for
many.
that.
It's too
There's
many.
too
Mm.
many.
Too
It's too
many.
many. It's too many.
It's six
So
to
look.
one, bro. It's 6 to 1.
So
Come on.
so
Goodness
look.
gracious.
So let me listen. So it's 72 hours from Father's Day, the most important day of the year.
Oh shit.
Absolutely.
Yo,
You
yes,
understand what I'm
sir.
saying?
Yes, sir.
So check this out, feminist. Okay? So listen to me right now. Sit up sit up straight when I'm talking to you, you feminist. So let's check it
Hey.
out. This is how important. It's so good that we're having this topic this week.
Sure. This is a
Right
beautiful topic.
right
Sure.
right before Father's Day. Let me represent for the men out here, right? And as with these stats are the effects of strong men, not
Mm.
just men, because you can have a wrong man in the household raising the kids terribly as well. So we ain't talk about
Wow.
that.
Good
But check
point.
it out. So check it out. These are the effects of men not being in the home. So the U.S. has the highest level of single parent homes in the world. The world. Okay.
Mm.
80% of single parent homes are women. 80% of
That's
them.
wild.
So the stuff that
Wow.
we were talking about earlier, it comes from lack of masculinity in the home. It just
Hmm.
does.
It
Right?
does.
Now,
It does.
you have
A boy can't raise himself. He can't do it.
Correct.
He
three
needs some
times
type of guidance.
3 times more single parent homes in the world, right? So it's
Mm.
so China has 3% single parent homes. India has 4% single parent
Wow.
homes. The rest of the world is 7%. The US alone is 23%.
Whoa.
Why do you think
Just
that is, Trey?
That's millions.
it is from it didn't just start this generation.
Right.
You talk about well, what do you want to start? You
What?
have you have
70s, 80s?
Yeah.
bro.
It been started, bro. You know,
I mean
due, due to the
that
army, people was strung out on
that's
drugs, leaving the homes early.
bro,
All of
Hmm.
these
bro.
things played a point. It
So
played a part.
so it's like the guy asked me where I asked him a question of like a real technical tech question, right? So he was like, "How long is a piece of string?" Right? So I was
Hmm.
like, what the fuck kind of right? So I'll
Right.
ask you, how long is a piece of string? Where
As
do
long
we
as you would stretch it.
where yeah, as long
As long as you can
as
stretch
long
it.
as you would stretch it. But check it out. So 63% of teen suicides come from
Wow.
homes with no men inside of the home.
Mm,
90% of homeless and runaway kids come from homes with no father.
mm,
Wow.
85% of this teen disorders come from fatherless homes. Okay,
Wow.
70% of female pregnancies come from homes with no fathers in them.
wow. That's
So
crazy.
what I would say is that young men, you're not married yet. Listen, get your life straight first, right?
Mm,
I'm so lucky. that whatever I was shooting in my 20s wasn't hitting the target. You understand? And what I was shooting in my 30s
I caught that line.
with the right person, I hit my target every time. But I was not mentally ready for children. I had to get my life straight. I had to understand what I wanted to do. I had to understand what a real woman was. Period. Right? And me.
So you're saying it took you in your 30s to get it right? That's what you're telling me?
And listen. I don't care what nobody say. I'm gonna tell my kids that shit. I'm gonna tell my kids that shit. Like, listen. Go travel. I did what I did so I can give you this knowledge for you to take this forward. Right? Don't worry. Listen.
That's big.
Listen. You grind. You travel. You have fun. You experience different people in your 20s and your 30s. Then you can make those type of decisions about life partner. You got have you seen the divorce rates? The divorce rates are over 50%. Over 50%.
And they only 6 months in. It's crazy.
That shit it's not working because you're not working it right. You rushing. You just thought she was cute. You just thought she was cute. She gave you a little something. Now you rushing through everything.
She fit my criteria. She the one.
You don't have a criteria
until you got to sleep with her every day.
You feel me?
That's what a pandemic broke up.
Until you got to share sinks and toilets together, it gets different.
I want to add that. I want to add that in. E.
No, it's all good. Well, I think that
was a good point, Fernando.
No, that was dope. I just want to leave on a giving some game type vibe, and how we gonna do that is I'm gonna let Millie's just give some advice to the to the men out here and the men in your age bracket in terms of what they should be focused on in this world of where it seems like men are weaker. You know what I'm saying? Like,
sure.
I'm gonna let you have the floor, bro. And that's how
got you, E1. It's like, first and foremost, I want to say to all the men, make sure you got God in your life. Prayer is a wonderful thing. It's really the key of life. Really get for sure of yourself. Make sure you're financially stable. Your mental is clear before you make any further moves. A lot of us are getting jammed up, being incarcerated and so on and so on. Look at the people that's doing bad as examples and move the right way and be a good servant towards the world. So if you become good at something, teach others, spread that knowledge, because it's going to make you win in the long run, and it's going to keep the legacy going for us men as the power, so you got to understand that. You got to understand that. I'm going to leave it like that.
Hey, Millie.
Yes, sir.
It's a cost to what?
It's a cost to being non-aggressive, and it's every day, every second of the hour, man. It's that simple.
It's
non-aggressive.
Non-aggressive.
Hey, man, I come from a time you got to breathe correctly.
Hey,
you get out the room.
Listen. Let me shout out the room, man. We are packed in this room. First of all, we got the one and only Donnie, the one and only.
What's good, Donnie?
Miss Donnie. We got T Streets live from the yacht. Live from the yacht with his shirt off.
With the cigar in his hand. I got you, T.
With the Anita Baker biography in the background.
He got the portrait sitting by the bar now.
Hey, listen, man. No Anita Baker slander. Okay, no more of that. So we have JFXA TZZA in the studio. We got Miss Ladybug in the studio.
Hello.
You understand? We got a lot of people in here. Who else we got in here? We
packed.
Hold up, y'all. We super packed. Hold up. I'm still scrolling. We deep in this thing. We have Miss PIE SIE in the studio. We got Darius Walter Redmond in the studio.
That's my dog.
Yeah.
A1.
Bruh. We deep
okay
in
now.
Hold up.
We coming correct right now, man. I told y'all when I come on this show, we coming with love and life. Hey, that's what we do, baby.
We got my
building.
We got my man. We got my man's in there, Maurice Davis.
That's my homie. Okay, Mo.
My man Mo. My man Mo in here.
Yes, sir.
We packed in here, man. That's
man.
what we got for the night, E.
Well, that's what's good, man. I want to just give a special thanks to Millie for joining us, bro.
I appreciate y'all, man. I wanted to come on here. I've been following y'all since y'all first started y'all podcast. I want to tell you all, give y'all flowers while you here. Keep going. It's going to be prosperous. Pray on it. God is going to manifest it, and watch how further you get with this thing, man, because people need to learn and have this knowledge in their life.
Appreciate you, bro. Appreciate you.
For sure.
And like I always say, man, you can catch the pod on, you can get it on Spotify, YouTube. We pushing YouTube. We trying to get the YouTube subscribers up, so everybody can get the YouTube. Please go to YouTube to check out the pod, but we do have it available on Amazon Music and basically anywhere where pods are available. We also have an IG page called the Rec Room Podcast.
I'm on
If you have any questions or any topic that you want us to talk about, let us know. Click that follow button. And as I always say, soon we're going to be shooting some of the video. We're going to be shooting some of the pods using on camera. So you get ready to be able to put faces.
And that's going to bring it through the roof.
Yeah,
so we can't wait for that. That's coming soon, man. And other than
I'm
that,
definitely coming up.
Oh yeah, hell yeah.
For sure.
So just want to thank everybody, and to the next time.
Happy Father's Day. Happy
Father's Day to y'all. I'm not a father yet, but I am a father to many. And happy Father's Day to all y'all, man.
All right, y'all.
Take care.
Peace. Love.